Look at his hands. Steady, methodical even now. Caked in the fine, talcum-like dust of the Hindu Kush, a fresh cut across the knuckles, but the movement is pure precision, programming a frequency, adjusting gain. These hands aren't just holding a radio, they are holding the leash of a dragon. All around him, a team of the world's most elite soldiers, green berets, scan their sectors, weapons up, breaths visible in the dawn chill. Their world is the horizontal, the ridge line, the alley, the window, but his world is the vertical. He is the only one looking up, listening for a rumble only he can summon. In the mountains of Afghanistan, an entire air force was about to arrive at this lonely outpost. But only one man could see it coming. He wore no rank on his uniform in the field. His most powerful weapon weighed less than 5 pounds. And with a few calm, whispered words into a handset, he could reshape geography, rewrite fate, and call down the concentrated fury of a superpower onto a single square meter of Earth. This isn't a story about pilots in the crisp, cold blue. This is the story of the man who becomes the Air Force, while his boots are planted firmly in the mud. This is the story of the U.S. Air Force Combat Controller. Think of the most advanced air power in human history. The sleek, invisible F-35, a billion-dollar marvel of sensors and stealth. The brutal orbiting persistence of an AC-130U spooky gunship, its side bristling with cannons. The earth-shaking arrival of a B-52, a Cold War relic that can level a grid square. Now imagine the frail, human link between that awesome power and the desperate soldier pinned down in a ditch. That link is not a satellite. It's not a computer algorithm. It is a man. A single, exhausted, hyper-trained man with a radio and a codebook. He is the translator between two different realms of warfare. He speaks the language of mud and blood to those who live in the realm of titanium and afterburners. The Combat Controller, or CCT, is the U.S. Air Force's ultimate force multiplier. He is not a passenger on a special operations team. He is not just a communicator. He is their lifeline, their guardian, and their most decisive weapon. When a SEAL team is cornered, when Rangers are outflanked, when the mission is crumbling, they ask one question: where's our controller? Because the controller doesn't just call for help, he is the help. With a calm voice, he can turn the very sky into a weapon. But how do you create such a man? You don't simply recruit him. You forge him in the most relentless, deliberate crucible the American military has to offer. This is the pipeline, and it is designed not to build but to break. Over 90% of those who start will quit. It begins at the water's edge. At the Special Warfare Assessment and Selection in the frigid churning surf of Panama City, Florida. Here, physical grandeur is irrelevant. It is a contest of will. Candidates, already elite athletes, are broken down to their raw, psychological core through sleep deprivation, constant physical torment, and merciless team evolutions. The log PT, the endless runs in soft sand, the drown-proofing, it's not a test of strength. It's a search for the one quality that cannot be taught. The unwavering decision to continue when every sane instinct screams to stop. 80% find their limit here. The survivors, the stubborn, the resilient, are granted the privilege of more pain. They earn their parachute wings at Army Airborne School. They become combat divers, learning to infiltrate from the sea in pitch-black water, fighting not just the enemy but buoyancy and panic. They endure survival, evasion, resistance, and escape training, SEER, learning how to survive if everything goes wrong. Each school is a filter, removing those who can't adapt, who can't think while cold, wet, and afraid. Then they reach the heart of the beast, the Combat Control Schoolhouse at Pope Field, North Carolina. This is where the physical ordeal is replaced by a mental maelstrom. Here, in darkened rooms buzzing with static, the student is introduced to the kill box. Imagine a three-dimensional chessboard moving at supersonic speeds. In this box are friendlies on the ground, enemy positions, a flight of A-10s needing a target, a Medevac helicopter begging for a safe route, a reconnaissance drone circling for intel, and a cargo plane trying to drop supplies. All of it exists in the student's head. He must conflict it all. He must talk the Medevac pilot down while simultaneously giving a 9-line brief to the A-10 pilot, all while tracking the friendly patrol's movement on a map. The instructors are in his ear, screaming distractions, changing scenarios, introducing catastrophes. A jet has engine failure, the laser designator just died. The washout rate here is astronomical. Why? Because in the real world, a misplaced decimal in a grid coordinate doesn't mean a failing grade. It means a 500-pound bomb lands on your best friend's head. The margin for error is 0. Those who emerge from this 2.5-year gauntlet are more than soldiers. They are certified masters of applied chaos, so let's put him to work. Afghanistan, the Takamar Valley, 2010. A 12-man operational detachment Alpha, Green Berets, and their controller, call sign Jester, are moving through a silent cliffside village. The intelligence was wrong. The village isn't empty. Ambush. Heavy fire from a fortified compound overlooking the narrow path. The team is pinned in a deadly funnel. The medic is already working on a gunshot wound to the leg. The team sergeant is yelling for suppressive fire, but the enemy has the high ground, the cover, the advantage. The situation is seconds away from becoming a massacre. Jester flattens himself behind the only substantial rock, his heart hammering against his ribs, but his breathing, trained into a rhythmic calm, steadies. He ignores the rounds chipping stone above him. His world shrinks to his radio. He keys the mic. His voice, when it comes out, is flat, calm, devoid of the panic that fills the air. Jester, filtered calm. Any station this net, this is Jester. Troops in contact. I say again, troops in contact. Grid, Bravo Mike 435987. Request immediate close air support. Over. In a command center miles away, that transmission is a lightning bolt. At Bagram Airfield, a pilot sprinting to his pre-flighted F-16 hears the alert. The scramble begins. But in the valley, Jester isn't waiting. He's already building the bridge. He pulls his ruggedized tablet, confirms his exact GPS location. He visually locates the enemy compound, a 2-story mud structure with a single dark window spitting fire. He estimates the range, the offset from his position. He begins constructing a picture in his mind, a picture he must now paint for a pilot moving at 8 miles a minute, 10,000 feet above, who can see nothing but a blurry patch of earth. This is the sacred liturgy. The 9-line close air support brief. Every word is prescribed, every number phonetic. It is a poem of destruction, and its stanzas are a matter of life and death. Jester. Viper 1-1, this is Jester. Authenticate Golf Foxtrot. Fire mission. Line 1, initial point is checkpoint Alpha. Line 2, heading 290. Line 3, distance 2 miles. Line 4, target elevation 1,200 feet. Line 5, target description, 2-story mud compound, western edge of village, firing position is south-facing window. Line 6, target location, Bravo Mike 436988. Line 7, mark type, laser code 1688. Line 8, friendlies, 100 meters south of target. Line 9, egress, south to north, readback, over. In the cockpit of Viper 1-1, the pilot, Cujo, repeats the 9-line verbatim. His targeting pod, a high-powered camera behind the jet's nose, slews to the grid coordinate. He sees a cluster of buildings. He needs the exact one. Jester, Viper 1-1, readback correct. Request laser mark, over. On the ground, Jester signals to his team. Laser ON. He raises the SOFLAM, a heavy, binocular-like device. He finds the compound in the crosshairs, presses a button. An invisible, pencil-thin beam of infrared light reaches out across the valley, painting a dot no one can see directly on the enemy's wall. In Cujo's cockpit, a magic trick happens. On his screen, amid the grainy green and black of the targeting pod feed, a bright diamond suddenly appears, steady as a star, fixed on the south-facing window of the compound. His computer has locked onto Jester's invisible beam. Jester, Viper 1-1, laser spot. Confirm code 1688. Jester. Viper 1-1, laser code 1688 confirmed. My position is 100 meters south. I am marking with IR strobe now. Jester places an infrared strobe on the rock, a light visible only through night vision. Cujo sees the friendly strobe blink on his screen, a tiny, safe harbor of light precisely where Jester said it would be. The geometry is perfect. The threat is clear. The friendlies are clear. All the variables have been reduced to a single binary choice. Jester, Viper 1-1, in from the south for a gun run. You are cleared hot. I say again, cleared hot, rolling in now. Music swells to a tense, dramatic peak, then cuts to near silence, just the laser beep and wind. Sound, a deep building roar as the F-16 dives, the distinctive BRRRRT of its 20 Vulcan cannon, a sound like tearing the sky itself. Rounds the size of beer bottles walk up the hillside and stitch directly through the laser-painted window. The enemy machine gun fire stops abruptly. The silence that follows is more shocking than the noise. It lasts 3 seconds. Then a new weapon opens up from a different position. Jester is already moving the laser. Viper 1-1, Jester, secondary target 50 meters east of first. Same elevation, laser on. The diamond dances on the screen. Cleared hot. Another devastating gun run. The enemy's coordinated ambush is now a disjointed, panicked retreat. The air has been taken from them. In under 3 minutes, Jester has transformed a desperate defense into a decisive counterattack. The one-man Air Force is not a metaphor. In that moment, he was the weapons system. The $30 million jet was merely the delivery mechanism. But his work is never just destruction. As the team secures the area, they find a casualty worse than they thought. A femoral artery hit. The medic is fighting a losing battle. Time is now the enemy. Jester's voice changes. The cadence becomes urgent, yet somehow even more controlled. He's no longer talking to a fighter jet. He's talking to a HH-60 Pave Hawk Medevac pilot, a dust-off bird coaxing it into a near-impossible landing zone on a terraced hillside under the threat of remaining sniper fire. He talks the pilot down like a man talking a nervous driver into a tight parking space, except a mistake here means a helicopter full of rescuers becomes a funeral pyre. This is the full spectrum of the combat controller. In one mission, he can be the finger of God calling down thunder. Minutes later, he is the shepherd for an angel of mercy. He is the air traffic controller for the world's most dangerous airport, to conflicting jets, drones, and helicopters in a piece of sky no larger than a postage stamp. He is the logistician, calling in pinpoint resupply bundles from a C-130. He is the cartographer, surveying and establishing landing zones for an entire expeditionary airfield. He is quite literally the ground upon which American air power is built. He leaves no statue. He seeks no glory. His name is often classified. His victories are measured not in terrain captured, but in teammates who live to see another sunrise because of his voice. He is the quiet professional in its purest form, the calm, intelligent link between the mud and the stars. In an era rushing towards autonomous drones and AI-piloted aircraft, the story of the combat controller reaffirms a timeless truth. Technology is only as decisive as the human will that guides it. Someone must have the courage to stand in the path of chaos, to look through the smoke, and to speak with clarity and purpose for the heavens themselves. That is his duty. That is his honor. That is the combat controller. Thank you for watching. This is the kind of untold story we are dedicated to at Battle AI Forces. If you want to see which special operations career we profile next, let us know in the comments. Pararescue, Navy EOD. The choice is yours. Subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss it. Until next time.